So I found a note which I wrote on the plane from Australia to Sweden in 2016, if you know me already, which was where I set up my first Airbnb business. And I wanted to just run you through what my thinking was, because this is what set the foundations to be reasonably successful as I am now. So I was saying to myself, don't waste any time, clearly set objectives before you start working, begin estimating how long you will take to complete a task. Then after you complete it, go back and compare your estimates. So I was really trying to become like a machine in anything that I was doing and to keep myself accountable. And I put a value, I would say was actually worth more, but at the time, I think that my time was worth around $50 per hour. And that means that 40-hour work week is worth around $2,000. So I didn't want to waste $2,000 every week, which is what all of you guys should be thinking about as well. You should add like say 50 to 100% on top of what you already earn. And that's truly what your time is probably worth right now at the bare minimum. Then you want to define your long-term goals, and then you want to break down your long-term goals into short-term goals that are going to lead you there. So reverse engineer your long-term goals. And then you want to clearly define daily tasks that have the purpose of achieving your short-term goals. So you basically just think, oh, I want to do this in 10 years. Then you're going to figure out what you need to achieve each year. And then you've got to figure out what you need to achieve this year. And then you've got to figure out what you need to do today to make that first yearly goal come true. My long-term goals were financial freedom, location freedom, time freedom, purchasing power freedom, financial resources to action any idea easily, which is super cool. I had this idea for a watch patent. I won't tell you what it is, but it's a different way of making watches work. Maybe I will action that eventually, because it still hasn't come to fruition from what I've seen. Hire people to build your dream and keep it alive. Be your own CEO, which is basically what I've achieved now. Automated income that doesn't need you to continue. It's actually amazing reading this back. Amazon, eBay, Google. This is before I found Airbnb as a business model. So Amazon, eBay, Google, I wanted to build a stream of income that replaces my previous job's earnings, which was $750 per week. Automate the sales channels and fulfillment with virtual assistants and fulfillment by Amazon, which is one of the business models I semi-tried. I didn't try that hard, to be honest. And then Fix My Tear, which was the repair tape brand that I started. My goal was to generate 30K profit per year, which is 70K in sales per year. Once you take into account my cut, sell Fix My Tear for 100K, or automate and live off 15K profit per year. So fairly modest goal for that. But basically, I didn't really find the vehicle yet, but you can see how I was thinking. And this is how you need to be thinking as well if you want to succeed. And I'm serious about that.